Hey, thanks for having me over. I think coming back to IIMA is always very special because, um, I came to IIMA at a time when, you basically used to finish undergrad and come to IIMA direct. So I was very fresh, first time out of home, and also very dreamy. I felt like I learned the most about myself in these 2 years. And towards the end of IMA, four of us classmates, we actually raised funding for an idea. We thought that we would start a consulting company that would help NGOs gain professional skills that would help accelerate their impact because they can't hire. And we even, we won this. I think the startup used to be a different word at that point. It wasn't really a word until about 10 years ago. And all four of us, actually at that point, we buried our dreams. We didn't do this. We were very passionate about it. We never really realized whether it was a good idea or a bad idea. And in some sense, it made me realize that that desire for impact. So for example, in my case, what really motivates me is that there is a purpose more than yourself, more than your company. There is so much to do. Praveen talked about, taxi drivers who communicate in languages other than English. Practically all the products in India are built for the top 1%, maybe the top 10% today. But even today, that is the case. But when that seed is there, you realize that it hasn't gone anywhere. So, the four of us I went to Deutsche Bank, another person went to McKinsey, Coke, Unilever, and so on. But that seed stayed with me, and sure enough, that itch grew again, and and it came back at an unexpected time. I was working at Morgan Stanley at the time. I was in London. Felt a sense of emptiness, and there were at that point, NRI banking had just taken off. I was here on a trip to India, and somebody said that you can get 40% returns from secured lending. So I was like, this sounds like too good to be true. So I said, tell me more about it. So, this is in a small city in UP, and we went and he said, it's gold loans. I said, okay, sure, but gold, it's fully secured, right? You have absolutely no risk. You're a jeweler yourself, so you obviously know the quality of the gold. So why 40%? How 40%? And so I said, why don't you take me and show me what you do? So he did. And then I realized that it was sort of really, really poor people pledging their gold and actually paying something like 70-80% rates of interest on secured loans on their own hard-earned money that they had saved. And I really felt a sense of outrage. I felt a sense of disgust. I felt like, oh my God, there's just such a huge problem to solve. The access to finance problem is so huge that we are actually, a country that's actually lending at 70% against a secured asset. Surely that's just wrong. That feels wrong. There is a problem here waiting to be solved. And that really stayed with me, and and then one thing led to another, and I came back to India to set up my first entrepreneurial venture was IFMR, and now Kaleidofin. But that, that early bug, it's like falling in love. I don't think it ever goes away from you. If you have it, you have it. And that's why I think what Mr. Madan Mohan also said was so right, that it's just something that you do because you really want to solve the problem, and therefore I think that grit, that determination, it just comes immediately. So one of the big problems that we are trying to solve at Kaleidofin is the problem of the small business. So you look around here, even in Ahmedabad or in Bangalore, there are small shops all over who are borrowing for working capital, borrowing to expand their businesses, and are on average paying anywhere between 90 to 100%. Actually, the products in the informal market are really smart. It's not like they're not smart. So they'll say that, you know what, I'll give you 10,000 rupees, I'll give it to you for 100 days. I'll deduct 1,000 rupees upfront for interest, so you actually get a 9,000 rupee loan, and you give me 100 rupees per day, principal plus interest. So it's very memorable, right? 100 rupees per day, 100 days, 10,000 rupees. Super easy to remember. So actually, it actually ticks all the boxes of a memorable, good financial product. However, if you do the maths, and I'm sure because this is IIMA, I'm sure some of you can do this in your head, this is 100% APR. Doesn't sound like it. When you say the numbers, it really doesn't sound like it, but that's what it is. So even though we have a very large microfinance industry today, still the working capital problem has not been solved, and there's only really very, very rigid financial product options available. So the first problem we were trying to solve at Kaleidofin was that, okay, customers have goals, they have goals for their business, they have goals for their lives, and therefore they need actually customized financial products. They probably need savings and credit at the same time. They probably need credit and insurance at the same time. Why is that? It's because, through market research, we learned that customer volatility of income and expenses is as high as 45 to 50% each. So which means that your surplus is actually changing by 100% every month on month, and that's a tough problem to solve. So you know that a pure term loan is not going to do it. So imagine, you were going to buy a bike, and someone said, hey, you know what, let me sell you the gears and the wheels and the mirrors, and why don't you go assemble it yourself? That's not a great experience, right? That's exactly what we are doing in finance. We do that, and it clearly doesn't work. It's not a surprise, therefore, that the small business owner, like a kirana store, just goes to the informal money lender, pawnbroker, chit fund. There are many, many players, and pays a really, really large price for it. So first was designing a financial solution. So our new product was a financial solution. We said that the product in finance is a manufacturer context, right? Banks make bank accounts, insurance companies make insurance policies, but you have to tie it together to make a product that actually makes sense. The second one is user interface. Very similar to what Aprameya talked about. We have to talk to customers in their own language, and therefore a user interface which is utilizing voice, which is utilizing local language becomes really, really important. And yeah, exactly. Not everyone can read, and not everyone is, even if they can read, not everyone is comfortable typing. Just doing that alone, that's not established user behavior at all. But so the thing is, when we launched Kaleidofin, we launched this financial solution, we went into a pilot mode. We actually had a successful product market fit within the first 12 months. So it was kind of like a dream run. But then we realized that it's not scaling up. And why is it not scaling up? Because there are other infrastructural issues that still need to be solved. So our second big learning was that problems are multi-layered, especially when you're going into a segment as vast as what we are talking about. This is probably 700-800 million customers, and the market penetration is under 10% in this segment. So the thing is that a lot of the infrastructure that needs to be there is not there. So we didn't have a balance sheet in the beginning. We didn't have our own source of capital. We had convinced one institution to partner with us. That institution partnered, we scaled with them, but then we stopped. So now what to do next? So we realized that the larger problem that we had to solve was underwriting. And that's actually a systemic problem. Nobody knows how to underwrite this customer. So we built our second product, Chi-Score, which was like an infrastructure product. And Chi-Score today has underwritten about 4 million customers and underwritten about like 18,000 crores of credit. But in some sense, without Chi-Score, if we hadn't built Chi-Score, there is no way we could have attracted 10 other banks, NBFCs to come onto the platform and lend to our customer segment. The big lesson for me was really that look for the layers of problems that you have to solve. And finally, because I'm here at IIMA, I want to end with saying that still, till today, in fintech, there are probably, I can count companies on the fingers of both my hands. Maybe there are 10 companies seriously trying to solve this problem for this customer segment. We need many, many more of you to come in and join the fray. This is a room where we can get it done. So please come and talk to me if you're interested.